Hey everyone, welcome back to another Rise of Liberty video. So today we're going to be revisiting one of our best, I would say, videos on my channel. And that would be the Battle of Yorktown. So the Battle of Yorktown, or the Siege of Yorktown, was in 1871. And it was the final battle of the entire American Revolution. American and French troops. This was after Benjamin Franklin went to France and got the French to ally with the Americans. And then the final attack began on October 14th, led by French General Comte de Rochambeau. After capturing two British defenses, British General Lord Cornwallis and his 9,000 troops surrendered. So 9,000 troops. That's really big. That's a lot of people, and that's just soldiers too. So we are going to be the British because last time we were the Americans and we were the ones who were doing the siege. But now we're going to be the ones who are during the siege. And if you don't remember from before, during all these episodes, we only use the... God, did they just spawn inside the horses? What? So we only use like the best weapons. Or what we use, so this is kind of Yorktown. I'm pretty sure there were other islands to the side, like other areas to the side, but it's just like a really big kind of square. And then this one area over here.
Bro, there's red kits.
But we can still attack. So that's gonna be how this is gonna go. So of course we are just gonna be riding in there on horseback just to get into the fighting, which isn't how it would have gone, but it would have been kind of effective if they had like carriages that were being drawn by horses, kind of similar to German armored transports. In World War II, like the half tracks, or just plain old simple kind of ships that transported troops. Let's see if I can take out some of these Lancers before they charge. So Lancers, they aren't that. Oh, and I got killed. So anyway, but Lancers, right now in this time, they wouldn't be so effective, and that's why cavalry wasn't like so used during the American Revolution, because like all the way up to the Franco-Prussian War, that was they were starting to in this war right here, and even at the direct invention of powerful firearms like the musket, like the decline of cavalry kind of just started, because you had like Spanish troops who fired on in a charging line of Aztec soldiers. They would be obliterated by Spanish muskets. And the main, I don't know where I'm going with this, but basically, I don't know if anyone here has heard of the Zulu Wars. They took place in southern Africa between the British and the Zulu. The Zulu won a massive amount of victories, but with very high casualties, because first things first, they could muster a lot of troops, while the British could only expand so much, because they were fighting a war I think almost 4,000 miles away. And the Zulu, they were just fighting on their home turf, so they had the better advantage. But the British, they had machine guns and they had muskets, but those kind of ran out of ammo at some point, and they were well supplied. But in one battle, there was I think almost 4,000 or something, a lot of Zulu warriors that were attacking a British line. They were entrenched. They had blockhouses that needed to be taken one by one. They had, they had machine guns that were surrounded by sandbags. It was very well protected. But once, well, it wasn't really like machine guns. It was more like Gatling guns that like turn around. So basically, the Zulu, they could expend their troops, and it was like a slaughter. So a lot of the, as you know, like muskets, they take a long time to reload. Like, I don't know, maybe like 20 seconds if you're like really regimented and trained with it. So you can go, like here, look. This guy can reload it in like 5 seconds. Or like maybe 20 or something, or 10. But I don't even think like he did some of the steps, like pulling that thing back, but it would take like if you picked up one and they just gave you the basic instructions, say like you're getting drafted and then you don't know what's happening, if they just gave you the instructions on how to reload a musket, you would be very, very confused, because like, how do you reload this? And that was kind of very similar to just a lot of things. And anyway, the point that I'm trying to make here is that basically once they fired their first volley, they couldn't fire another volley until all of the, like, there's two types of volleys. There's just a plain volley where all the troops fire it once and it's very decimating, or it decimates an entire enemy force. And then there's a ragged volley, which kind of takes out certain parts of lines. Like say about the most, like, say I have a line of 100 soldiers, or like 10 soldiers, and 5 on my left side, they all reload at like the exact same time and fire at the exact same time. But then 2 on my right side, like 2 on my left side, they reload kind of just like maybe 5 seconds later. And then kind of repeat that process with like the other 3. So now you have 3 people. Like now you have 3 people who are firing like 10 seconds behind, and then you have a ragged volley. So something like, and basically if all my guys fired on the right and they shot, like this wouldn't be the best, but like if they shot every single person, like of another 10 lines, people who have melee weapons, if they shot every person at that time, they would need to rely on the not reloaded people to fire at the other enemies who they didn't shoot. Like 5 people, they line up and fire. 5 people on the other side are dead, but they can't fire. So it's basically just a 5-on-5 kind of battle, basically. And so a ragged volley is worse than like an actual volley, because in a volley, kind of just to sum up everything here, a volley, they all fire at the same time, and they all rely on having the same kind of speed. So in that same speed, it can decimate an entire line. And like basically in a volley, you have 3 lines of people. The first volley, it fires, it takes out the first line, and maybe kills like the second line, or maybe kills some people on the second line. A ragged volley kills 5 people and then maybe some in the back, but you'll still have, still kills like 10 people and wounds some in the back, but they all reload at different times. Being that if I was aiming straight ahead, like right here, if I was aiming straight ahead like this and I fired, and then my guys to the left, they fired but they took out this side. If there was one guy over here and then the other 2 guys killed them, I would have to shoot this side to cover these guys, just in case. It's just basically kind of how it went. And kind of back to cavalry chargers, it's the exact same thing. If you use rifles to take out if you use rifles to take out line of cavalry, the second that they start to reload, like muskets, they start to reload, that first line is either dead or now locked in melee combat. And the second and third lines can't fire without fear of friendly fire. So, and then it's the same thing from the back because they're not firing, and it kind of repeats itself. A volley, first people fire, they duck down. Second people fire, they duck down. Third people fire, and so forth and so forth. Because like they'll reload while on the ground and while kind of like away from enemy fire. There would still be the case where, like, say a bullet it ricocheted off and hits the and like hit a guy on the ground, but more or less it was still safe. It was still better to be using a
open cell A.
It would still be easier to just use a ragged volley. And do with me on that. Okay, well that was kind of long. And now let's kind of get onto something, I don't know, maybe. Oh, and I don't know if any of you have seen that Lego video that I posted. Really dumb video, I hated it. Like, I had nothing else to post because it was either just shorts or using my brother's computer. That computer was broken at the time I was getting the screen fixed. It was so broken. But anyway, now we have. But now I have all of this, and I'm posting a video every single day except for weekdays. So Monday to Thursday, Friday, I don't have anything, so I can just post then. But that's because I have to focus on school, and also happy March break. 2 weeks. I'll be gone in Florida for the last week of March break, and actually, I'm not sure if you. I'm not sure. Do people in? Okay, if any of you are American or from somewhere else, do you guys call it March break or spring break? And is it in March or is it in April? So, I'm just very curious. So anyway, you probably only see videos from today, and then maybe on some of the weekends, and if I'm lucky, maybe on the final Saturday of March break. So the final Sunday of March break. So maybe like 2 days or 3 days. But I also think I might post on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Actually, not Friday. I'm leaving on Friday. So basically, that's kind of it. I hope that you all have a wonderful March break, spending with family. I know COVID's been hard on everyone, and just have a good time, everybody. I'm the History Gamer. Have a good time. Bye.